welcome to Kel Knits. My name is Kelly and I'm an Aussie knitter living in Sydney, Australia. And this is my knitting YouTube channel where I chat about all of my knitting. Before I start today, I would like to just take a quick moment to pay my respects to the Camaragal people who are the traditional owners of the land where I am filming this video today. I would also like to pay my respects to their elders, both past, present, future and emerging. If you're not sure what an acknowledgement to country is and why it's important here in Australia, I will make sure to link some information below in the show notes, as well as some information about the Camaragal people and who they are. If you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. It's wonderful to have all of you here this evening. I am filming, it's about, 9 p.m. in the evening. My daughter's in bed, my husband's out with friends for dinner. So I'm taking this opportunity to film a short video, but that means that I don't know how the lighting will be. I am no lighting expert, so I will just hope for the best. And that's why I'm also sitting in a slightly different spot. And I just thought, let's sit on the floor in this little green corner of my apartment. And we'll go with that, and I'm sure it's fine. So let's start with what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a knit that I knit perhaps last year sometime. Very popular pattern. This is the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. Can I remember what I knitted in? Lamana Premia is the Mohair, and Filocolan Arwetta, there you go, I think is the sock yarn that I held it together with, but I will link again the information to the yarns and the pattern in the show notes below, in case I got any of that wrong. It's a very popular pattern, and I've only knitted it once, but I quite enjoyed knitting this pattern, and I think it made for a lovely top, which is what I wore to work today. So it's one of those nice ones that I think kind of, with a pair of jeans, looks nice and casual, but it can look quite nice as well with some work pants or a work skirt or over top of a dress or something also. I did wear it with jeans. I don't know if this is a particularly Australian thing. People have to tell me, but on Fridays, often in Australia, it's mufti day. You wear just casual clothes, so still business casual, I suppose. So I wore it with jeans today. I don't know that I would dress, the reason I mention that is I don't know that I would dress this top up so much at the moment, and that is because it is in desperate need of some de-pilling. It's overdue, and I put it on this morning and thought, ooh, can I wear that? Yeah, I'll wear it, and that might be a job for the weekend, to get out my little electric shaver thing and try and tidy it up a little bit. Okay, but let's talk about what I've been working on and what I've been knitting. I only have one finished object today. Oh no, not true. No, I have two. We'll call it two. Okay, one still has a little bit of work, but it's mostly done. So let's go with my definitely 100% finished object, which is this beanie. Let's put it on. This I knit for my husband. It's called the Boyfriend Beanie by Expression Fibre Arts. I was in Germany for work about a month ago, and so this was the project that I took. Well, I took a couple of projects, let's be fair, like I was only away for just over a week, and yet I think I had 3 knitting projects with me, because you always want to be prepared. Imagine if I ran out of knitting. Disaster. But I did the majority of this beanie I knit whilst I was away on that trip, because it's a great, nice, simple pattern to be working on, especially on those long haul flights. Although probably a lighter colour yarn would have made it easier knitting on the plane. The only reason I didn't finish it on that trip is because I only bought 1 ball of yarn with me, which was not very sensible. So I had to wait till I got home to attach the second ball and do the decreases and finish it off. So this was a nice little surprise for him, and it's a great, super easy pattern. So I can highly recommend it. It knits up super quick because I think it's, is it 5 or 5.5 millimeter needles, something like that. So it knits up really quick. Look, this wouldn't be, the gauge is pretty loose. So, I mean, I wouldn't wear this beanie in the middle of a snowstorm. It's probably not going to be the warmest, but for Sydney winter, perfect. It's perfect. So what yarn did I use? Morris & Sons. I'll write it on the screen. I'm pretty sure it's a DK weight yarn. I actually bought this not for my husband. I bought it for my daughter because this is her school colors, and I thought, oh, she's gonna love it if I offer to make her like a beanie or a headband and some mittens. And no, she wasn't keen. So I haven't knit anything for her out of this yarn, but I've knit my husband a very cozy beanie, and actually it's very cozy now that I'm wearing it. Might have to borrow it. The good thing about this pattern too, it's just one size, but all you need to do to go up a size is, I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern actually, and you just add another 5 stitches in 5 stitches increments, 5 stitch increments. My husband he's very tall, so his head is fairly large, and he often struggles with traditional hat sizes and things like that. So I did 10 additional stitches, and it fits him really well, and apparently it fits me too. So that was my first finished object. Shall I leave the beanie on? I take it off and my hair will be crazy. I might take it off because otherwise I'm gonna overheat. Let's go on to my second finished object, which I finished last night. It still has to be blocked. I still have to kind of weave in the ends, which is why I guess I hesitated a little bit as to whether it's finished or not, but you know what, it's close enough to be finished. Before I pull it out though, I want to show you this beautiful project bag, which the lovely Daniela from Anita's Suitcase made, and she's just recently opened her own Etsy shop. So highly recommend, because it's beautifully made, and I've recommended her podcast before. If you love color, you will love her YouTube videos. And of course her project bags are really matching that as well, full of lots of color and beautiful patterns, and the inside is lined with more patterning, and it's a great little drawstring. So I just wanted to highlight that. It's my new favorite project bag. But inside is my, the name, what's the name of this? It's a shawl. This is the second one that I've knit, and I've talked about how much I love the pattern. I'm gonna have to write the pattern name on the screen, which I usually do anyway. It'll come to me in a minute, but I knit this in a black yarn like a month or so ago, and I adore it, so I knit it again. The designer is Lisa Mutch. Auspice, that's the name of the pattern. So here is my second one, and you can see it is a lovely long skinny shawl. It has some beautiful little eyelets, and then the shaping is just with some wrap and turns, doing short rows. It's that perfect combination of kind of easy but interesting, and it makes for a great little scarf shawl thingy. This one is not quite as long as the previous one I made. I did add a little bit of extra rows, but I ran out of yarn. This is what I have left of the yarn, because I haven't even cut it off. So you can see I really made the most of that skein of yarn. So I'm going to block it and see if I can squeeze a little bit more length, because I do like them when they're nice and long. But this is a great pattern, and I'm very, very happy. Let me now I'm tangled. Let me hold it up and see if you can get just a better look. I'm sorry if the colors maybe don't come out so well because we don't have that perfect natural light. But the yarn is Eden Cottage yarns, and the colorway is Hayton. It's Eden Cottage yarns, Hayton 4-ply. The colorway name is Tide, and it is 80% superfine merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's beautiful and soft, and it's just lovely. Very happy with this one. I took this one away. This one I actually pretty much exclusively have knit whilst traveling, because I worked on this project in Germany, and then this week I had to travel again for work, not quite so far, just to beautiful Adelaide. And this was the project that I took to Adelaide and got through pretty much most of it, so that last night I just finished it off, which was great. So those are my 2 finished objects, and then I have 2 finished objects, so then I have 1 whip to show you, which is, and I'm so excited about how much work and how much progress I have made on my Poet by Sari Nordlund. I have finished the body and I'm working on 1 sleeve. If you don't know why I'm so excited, for anyone who's watched my other videos, especially if you have watched from the beginning, this is in my first ever episode. If you watch from the beginning, you're probably sick of seeing this pattern, to be fair. But this is one of these ones that I've been working on for over a year, and I kept putting it down, even though I really enjoyed it. And even though I knew I really wanted the finished product, I kept putting it down and just not coming back to it. Other things kept distracting me. And so the fact that I really well and truly am now on the home stretch, all of that beautiful lace is finished. I'm so excited to have this done. I actually really enjoyed doing the lace. I find it really meditative and calming. And so once I got back into it and was quite dedicated about the fact that I am not putting this down again now, I'm going to finish it, I found it really, really enjoyable to do. And I think you can see I've blocked the body, and I am very happy with how it's turned out. I'm going to hold it up so that hopefully you can see better. I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see what you can see, so I always just hold it up and hope for the best. What else was I going to say about this? Yep, the fit's quite nice. It's a little bit loose, just a nice amount of positive ease, I think. Oh, I did give myself a fright after I blocked it and tried it on and thought, oh my gosh, the neckband is way too wide. This is going to fall off my shoulder. It's going to look terrible. What am I going to do? And then I realized it's because you haven't actually knit the neckband yet. There's a whole nother section to go, so it will be fine. Although it kind of looks pretty. I quite like would you call that kind of slightly scalloped looking shaping around the neck? But I don't need an off the shoulder number, so we will knit the proper neckband. And then the arms. I actually just this afternoon, whilst I was waiting for my daughter to get to sleep this evening, actually before filming, I just ripped back a little bit of the arm and did 1 less decrease on the arm. And actually when I looked, because it fit, but it was, I guess, compared to the positive ease in the body, the arm seemed a little bit tight. And when I went and had a look at some of the other project notes, I noticed that a lot of people did say that actually some of them didn't do the decreasing in the arms at all. They thought it was a bit much. So I've gone back and fixed that. And I'm sure that by the next time I film a podcast, I will be wearing this. And that's very exciting, very exciting. What is the yarn? The yarn is Rerum Natura Ulysse, and the color is Aster, and it's just 100% wool. So, merino wool. Yay. Yay. So 2 finished objects, 1 whip. That's kind of it. I do have a swatch that I can show you. I can talk to you about my next cast on. And I have this beautiful swatch here. This lovely piece of fluff. And I'm going to be making, world's worst YouTuber. Can't remember. I'm going to make Petite knit. Oh, I can't even, isn't that ridiculous? Like, hers must be some of the most well-known patterns, and I can't think of the name. I'm going to knit one of her patterns that's really basic, a basic sweater. It's not called the basic sweater. Anyway, I will write it on the screen and I'll link it below, and I'll put up even a picture so that you can see what it looks like. I think doing all of that lace in the Poet, I just really was craving something classic, really just simple and classic and easy to wear. And so when I was in Germany last month, I ordered some knitting for Olive to go to my in-laws' house so that I could pick it up and bring it home with me. And I have their Merino and I have their Mohair in the color, are they both the colorway Oat? Certainly the Mohair is, and I can't remember, Oat and Oatmeal. And they look really beautiful together. So I think that's going to make just a lovely, fluffy, soft, straightforward, everyday kind of sweater. So I'm looking forward to casting this on. I was going to say though, I'm not going to cast it on until the Poet's done, but that means I've only got 1 whip I'm working on, and that seems kind of ridiculous. I don't know that I can, I mean, I should focus on 1 whip and get it finished, but there's something about having 2, at least 2 on the go, sometimes 3 to alternate between. So this weekend, perhaps I will just, just get it started and go from there. So those are all the knits that I have to talk about today. But I thought I've actually wrote on a notebook a couple of things, which I never do. I never plan. Clearly I should have planned and written more than just this. It would have been good if I'd written, for example, what the name of this Petite knit pattern is, but I didn't plan that. I'm not that organized. But I just wrote down the name. I wanted to have the name of a couple of patterns that have come out recently that I really like the look of. So, and I love sharing. I love it when other YouTubers, knitting YouTubers, share their pattern plans. So I'm going to do the same. The first one that I am very excited about, and when you see the picture, and if you know anything about the kinds of knits that I gravitate towards, you'll see why. It's called True Nature by Stephanie Lotven, and it's a summer knit with a beautiful kind of lace yoke. I just love those, and as soon as I saw this pattern, I thought, oh, I have to make that. I adore it. I think it's fantastic. I very rarely do I buy a pattern when it's first released. I used to, because of course I love supporting designers, but I just found that I then had all of these patterns and way more patterns than I was ever going to have the capacity to knit. So I usually don't. I try to maybe support the designer by liking and putting the pattern in my queue and things like that, which I know can help boost the kind of Ravelry rankings. But this one, I just loved it so much that I went ahead and bought the pattern. So yeah, it's beautiful. I'm sure you'll agree. There's another one that's been released lately by Annika Jute, who is she's a fantastic YouTuber and has a great channel that you can check out as well. And she just released a summer top as well called Lotus Lake Tee, which looks, again, it's got some beautiful lace details this time around the bottom and just looks really sweet, and love the look of that one. And then the third pattern that I thought I would mention as well, from another knitting YouTuber. She also has a great knitting YouTube channel from Hannah at Herbgarden Knitwear, and she released this time a sweater, the Poise sweater, and it's got a really sweet color work yoke. And I have to confess, I have a very little experience doing colour work, and I keep thinking it's one of those kind of knitting achievements, like I should really tick that off to feel confident and competent with my colour work, but I keep choosing patterns that are just full of lace and beautiful things like that. So, but whereas this one on the Poise sweater, I thought it didn't look over the top, it didn't look necessarily like it was going to be too complicated, and I thought that could be a good one to get started with. You will see. Those are the patterns that I wanted to recommend. And then lastly, I have a fairly new to me knitting podcast that I thought I would recommend, because I've been really enjoying their content, and that is another Australian podcast of two lovely ladies based in Melbourne, and it's called Perfect Pairings, and they often interview knitwear designers and dyers, and I just quite like their vibe. I think one of the reasons why I feel like me, I really enjoy knitting YouTube, is I feel like I'm having a little bit of a, maybe it's one way, but a little bit of a conversation with somebody. And so when I come across a YouTuber, or in this case a YouTube pair, where you feel like, oh, I just feel like this is a couple who I would love to have a cup of tea with and knit and chat to. I definitely get that feeling from them, and so I'm really enjoying it and would recommend if you want to check that out too. I can't think of anything else to talk about. Oh dear. So no, I haven't had an evening wine, although I feel a little bit like it. Maybe I should have one now that I'm wrapping up. So, but I might leave you with, as I mentioned at the beginning of the week, I was in Adelaide for work and was staying in Glenelg, which is a lovely beach area, and so had the privilege of some early morning walks along the beach. And so I did take some nice beach relaxing videos, which I might add on to the end of this one for you to just finish with that peaceful, calming beach vibe as well. So I just wanted to say, wherever you are in the world, I wish you lots and lots of lovely, relaxing knitting time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.